Preliminary hearing went. It went very well, and that's due to the hard work of the Northern York County Regional Police Department. They did a fantastic job with this investigation, and I'm looking forward to presenting this case in court so that the jurors of York County can see what Mr. Jackson did.
I'd like to ask you a question. You know, you only called one witness,
Yes.
obviously Mr. Anderson, and who's obviously the star prosecution witness. Did you feel that that was sufficient? There was no need to call anybody else?
Yes,
Tell us why.
because I felt that was sufficient. I didn't think we need to call anybody else.
Thanks. No, that was
Were you surprised that the defense did not even cross-examine him, and that they rested and didn't say anything?
No, usually at a preliminary hearing there's a minimal amount of evidence put on, and so I'm not going to comment as to the defense attorney's tactics with regard to the representation of his client.
Can we talk about, this gentleman was on the run for at least 4, possibly 5 months. I mean, any thoughts about how long it took to capture this gentleman and why it took so long?
I think that based on what we know, he obviously went on the run, and I don't want to comment on what he was doing while he was on the run, so I'm just going to not comment with that question. So.
All right.
The video, you guys obviously have video that's been released of the incident and stuff like that. You decided
Yes.
not to show it in court, but it's
That's correct.
pretty telling, isn't it? I mean, describe that video for us and possibly the role it'll play in a trial if it gets to that point.
Well, the video, which was seen on TV, the news played the video regularly, so a lot of people saw it. I believe it was on the internet as well. Certainly will be a key piece of evidence with regard to the Commonwealth's case. So that's something we will certainly play in court for the jurors to see.
It's not every murder defendant or attempted murder defendant whose photograph is plastered across billboards across the Susquehanna Valley.
Right.
Any thoughts about the steps that law enforcement
Sure.
took to bring this man to justice?
I got to tell you, I'm beyond ecstatic with the amount of work that was put in to find this defendant. I mean, all the different law enforcement agencies worked together as a team to find him. That was a multi-jurisdictional, multi-organizational effort that was put into doing that. We had a lot of people that volunteered time to help as well, and so I can't tell you how happy I am with the effort that was put into finding him. I think it speaks volumes.
Can you give us a sense in
I want to stick to the facts of this case in particular, so I'm not going to give you my opinion with regard to my feelings on this incident. I think that the facts of the case speak for themselves with regard to the severity and with regard to the... Well, I'll just leave it at that.
Does it show how, I mean, this was a relatively mundane traffic stop at the beginning. Does it show what type of pressure and what kind of ills that police officers can come on?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. I think that incidents like this show that every single day that a police officer is working, they could come into contact with something that could end their life. I mean, this was a mundane traffic stop that resulted in gunshots, where we had someone who just testified that he actually had burn marks on his face from the gun being so close to it